Hey guys, and welcome to Festive Baking with Shivesh Christmas edition. When I was planning recipes for Christmas, I knew that the recipe that I had to do first was a Christmas plum cake. The version that we're doing is slightly different from the traditional one because we're making this one without eggs and without alcohol. Let's get started. So to begin, I'm setting a saucepan over medium heat, and into this I'm adding orange juice, water along with some lemon juice. Now here I have some candied fruits, raisins, dried apricots, dried cranberries and prunes. Now all of this goes in and I let this cook on medium heat for about 5 minutes until the fruit soaks up some amount of juice and becomes soft and plump. So if you wish to add alcohol to this recipe, you could use the same quantity of rum instead of water. And this makes for a great last minute plum cake because you don't need to soak your fruits for months or even hours that most of the traditional recipes call for. Alright, this looks good. I'll set this aside and meanwhile start working on my dry ingredients. So in a bowl, I'm adding maida along with some spices. I'm using cinnamon powder, ginger powder and clove powder. You could use any spices that you have at hand. Along with this, I'm also zesting in some orange, about a teaspoon of orange zest. And then into this, I'm also adding 1 teaspoon of baking powder and half a teaspoon of baking soda. I'll give all the dry ingredients a good mix, and once everything's nicely combined, I'll set it aside. Now in a large bowl, let's start working on our wet ingredients. I'm going to start by adding some vegetable oil along with dark brown sugar, which would give this cake a beautiful rich color. Now I'm going to combine this with a whisk, which takes about a couple of minutes. And once this is done, I'm going to add in 1 cup of yogurt. I'm using homemade dahi along with a splash of vanilla extract. This looks good, and now into this I'm going to dump in the dry mix that we had set aside earlier. Now using my spatula, I'm going to combine everything and mix only until I don't see any large flour pockets in my batter. Alright, so my batter is ready. Now into this I'll be adding some dry fruits. I'm using a mix of almonds, cashews and walnuts. And now one final thing, the dried fruits that we had cooked in orange juice earlier. I'm going to add most of it in, but I'll reserve some for later to put it on top of the cake. So my batter is ready. I've preheated my oven to 160 degrees Celsius. Now the reason why we're baking this cake at a slightly lower temperature is because I want my cake to cook through evenly without drying out. I'll be transferring my batter into this 8-inch circular pan which I have lined with parchment paper. So my cake is out of the oven and it smells warm and fuzzy just like Christmas. It's super hard to resist, but I need to let it cool down completely before I can pull it out and then dig it. I think this plum cake is the perfect recipe to kickstart Christmas celebrations, and I hope you'll make this for your friends, your family, and for yourself and spread some cheer. When you make it, don't forget to share pictures on Instagram by tagging me at Shivesh17, and stay tuned because I'll be sharing lots of Christmas recipes in the coming weeks. And if you enjoyed watching this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and happy baking.